What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be breaking down NRG versus C9. How did this upset happen? How is NRG coming off of an off-season tournament win and they're falling flat against a team who hasn't really had a lot of time to adjust, even make and decide on a roster? I think the most surprising thing for me to see from NRG was the composition at play. So they're running the Sova, Breach, Killjoy. So I have two things about this. Okay, number one, I think that we already showcased, not only on Oxygen, okay, but on this team as well, that Verno is an elite Sentinel player. I don't think that he has the capability to potentially like take over rounds in terms of like using his voice a lot. When I mean elite level Sentinel, I mean more of like a less kind of approach that we've seen in the past. Put him on an island, put him in a corner. He's going to be good for two. Whatever you want to come down to. So not taking away at his recon, he is a top recon player, absolutely. But the problem for me was I loved the FNS and Ethan kind of combo here playing the Initiator. They were running the Breach Sky on Split, and that was basically like their best map. So I think that that can still exist in Ethan going KO here, FNS going Breach, and Verno going Cypher, because this agent Teo exists. There's no point of even playing a Killjoy when you're going up against this agent. So this is a really hard counter that's coming out here. And I was also surprised to see net on the Killjoy. I'm not really sure where the value is coming from on that agent for these guys, especially when not necessarily NRG does, but at least Cloud9 does. They believe in the power that the Teo has. So I just thought it was interesting to see that. And another thing that is talked about sometimes, and this will be my last little point here, is how strong are ultimates, in a team? You don't want to have 5 ultimates that are literally like god level, like perfect. You have your mixed in like Astral, your Omenal, you're mixed in like Cypher, all stuff that's pretty situational, not like full value. And on the side here, we have 10 really overpowered ultimates. So that's going to be a thing where people are going to be fighting for ult economy. We are playing Fracture, so there are 2 more orbs on the map that are attainable than not. So I guess that can kind of like debunk it there. But again, still just something to think about there. Where I just thought it was interesting. I don't really like NRG's approach, and with Cloud9. We didn't talk too much about their composition here, but the main thing that I see is just post-plant. Okay, this is a huge post-plant map. This is a huge map for retake and post-plant in general. Some teams are going to be playing 4-1 consistently. Okay, we saw it specifically when Chamber was meta. 4-1 defensive setups all the time. If you went to the 4, you probably scrapped and ran away into the 1. If you went into the 1, he probably killed you, TP'd away, and you got the bomb down. So, going into this, what you see here is a player who can smoke when they're dead. 2 ways of stopping the bomb. 2 ways of stopping the bomb. Technically 1, but we'll give him 2 just because of his like ultimate there. Oxy again, 2 ways of stopping the bomb. Vic again, 2 ways of stopping the bomb. So including ultimates, we'll actually make that 3. We're talking about a lot of ways of stopping the bomb tap with having smokes in the post. So your sight smokes that are really gonna like be hard to kind of like clear out by like tower, by like the slant, bottom site A, all that stuff is going to be really good there. So opening in the pistol round here, we're going to see like a little bit of a sneak peek of the explosiveness. So outside of the agents, the roles, specifically with the Clove, kind of like being a duelist, I really, really like that approach from Cloud9. I think that when they played Clove in the past, specifically on Rooney on Sunset, it was horrible. It didn't really like make any sense. But I like a player like Zeppa being able to play it. Someone who can bounce back and forth with Oxy and really have, like, again, take over potential in rounds. And it's what we saw in this game, right? Like, Zeppa just literally having, not in a disrespectful way, I'm about to say this, a career performance up against these guys and really just, kind of like shitting on them. So, here we go with an Oxy 3K pistol. That's when you know you're in trouble, is when this guy's starting early. So outside of the post plant, obviously we can, we see that there's a lot of like utility to be able to use for the bomb. But these guys can also blow up sites depending on like what they have, and the investment can be based around the Teo stealth drone. So when he does drone into a bomb site, how many people are there? How much resistance does it receive? And do we need to blow it up? Missiles, mollies, decay, whatever it might be. The main thing that I really don't like about this composition is the idea that it has no flashes, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like whatever, they see fit. You're going to see sacrifices all the time in terms of maps and compositions of what they have in trade-off for something. But again, I think that in the long term, this isn't something that they're going to be able to stick to and work with. They're gonna make an adjustment at some point. But pay attention to here on how hard Verno just gets blown up in this bomb site. Double man advantage situation, using the drone to do the hard work. Sees nothing. Last remaining position is tower. Oxy's going to do a nade for the swing, force him out into the open with the missiles on his back. So really nowhere to go there. And just another thing where some of these agents are specifically going to shine depending on the map that you're picking them on. It isn't going to be a thing where you're going to see Teo on every map no matter what. So in this matchup, the reason I used the word earlier, upset, when I was talking about Cloud9 is because I thought NRG, again, coming off that tournament win, and, a little bit of a grit in this match. These guys were the ones who stopped them from going to playoffs last year, even though it's not the same roster. So I thought they'd be a little pissed off today and came in, really ready to go. And I was wrong. Your classic people stepping up and overperforming, like Som, characteristically on this roster. Mata had a pretty good showing, like on this map, but didn't really see it as a team, as a unit together. And I think a little bit of the problem solving is just like a little late in terms of how they're doing it, what they want to do. So we're going to see a 2-3 setup come out here from NRG. They're going to be going for a little bit of aiming control. Verno's going to be able to get some information on the weak side. And then we have Som and FNS, the duo, being able to stop the push at B. So a little bit of entrance utility placed here with the swarms, trying to deny the space take with the single initiator comp. Maybe the idea there is if we get that molly off at a good enough time, when the missiles fade away, when the drone fades away, you're not really going to have much left to hit sight with. So, an okay job there of an approach, but we're going to see it go bad when FNS is going to play the same spot that Verno did in a previous round. So that might be a situation where we're coming up on round 3, so Verno might have not mentioned how the tower take looks, but the nade has been used for close and the missiles have been used for far. So FNS is going to avoid that. Som's going to get pushed off the angle, and he's taking some time to drop a smoke. By the time that he drops the smoke, Oxy has already breached it. So the timing of the molly in tower, it's broken. It doesn't exist anymore. Som throwing the molly here, again, doesn't really exist. They're already past it all. FNS has now stepped in front of the utility. He's now peeking into a stun. Mitch is going up the rope with a phantom. Ends up getting the kill there. And now the bomb is down. 5v4 situation. Full kit online for everybody but Som, who's on 10 HP. So we almost had an 0 for 2 sight hold here. And as I say that, Som gets sprayed through the smoke. So huge investment there. Again, a surprising idea to sit in tower against a bonus. Didn't think that was like the smartest thing that you could do. But we've talked about it so many times on this channel, right, guys? Is like how hard it is playing defense, not only on this map, but in this game, man. You lose a round like this, look at the ults you're going to go up against. Vic halfway there, Oxy's there, Mitch is there, Zeppa third of the way there, Net nowhere close. But now these guys have an anti-eco where they can get 5 kills, a bomb plant, and potentially 4 orbs. So we're talking about 10 ult points potentially in a round. So again, trouble is brewing now, and the game is going to quickly get out of their control. I will give the props to NRG, absolutely. They did end up saving 3 guns, which is pretty rare in this region to save. A lot of people are stupid and try to go for it every single time. Because of that save, they end up winning the next round, and now they're in a position where they're a little bit, again, not on the best footing because they won this in like a 1v1 situation with a defuse, so they are pretty broke here. So, ultimate online in terms of the Bremall. Oxy close, Mitch close, not an even round, okay, by any means. Even though they're spawning in a 5v5, it is not an even round. NRG realized this. They try to make some sort of push play. Now, what I thought was interesting was normally when you see this play come through, you're going to see a smoke in this position, okay? For me personally, the most notorious version of this play was Sentinels versus Luminosity Gaming, okay? It was an overtime game on Fracture, and Zelsis got right up in this corner on Neon. When LG came through this smoke, they didn't clear it at all, and he got a lot of value. So that's the smoke that I'm talking about there, where you fully deny the space with the stun, and if someone wants to take back this space with the stun, they need to spend money to do so. And that would be a thing, again, that I would try to overvalue if I was NRG here, is making sure that I'm facing these smokes, right? The smoke that saw him through Arcade didn't have the chance to face it with the timing of the molly, but there's no flashes in play here. Okay, your worst case scenario is going to be someone like Oxy jumping out in the open, going left, right in the open, sacrificing himself to be traded. But, that's not like a bad thing, where if we can take Oxy out of a round, I'm much, more scared of him than I am of, some people on this team like Mitch or Net. And again, not like a disrespectful thing, just a fact of the matter. This guy has crazy round takeover potential. So we don't see a smoke come out here, which I do not think is good, especially since this is the weak side. Mata now has the line. And this was supposed to be some sort of reaction bait where when this came through, they wanted Cloud9 to go into the stack towards A, but again, there's not enough pressure here. One stun, one flash. Mata hasn't even made any noise yet until he placed this satchel, and it's too late now. The reclear is getting ready to come through. Oxy's in the open. Vic drops his Brimalt to stop the follow-up from Ethan. He has to go for like a little bit of a run and gun here. 5v3 now. Now, Mitch jiggling, taking his time, calls for the boys to turn around. They have a big hold. Verno less than a 1v4. And again, spiraling out of control is the half for NRG. Here we're going to be able to see a round where we can see value from the Clove ultimate. Not dead yet. Oxy actually had a lead with his rocket. Zeppa's bounced back into an A, but stands up, and this is where the rush is going to commence. So this is just kind of like a fuck you style ultimate, where Zeppa's going to stand up and he's going to clear the way, all the way running into the bomb site. So there's two outcomes of this, okay? Outcome number one, when he stands up, okay, he is going to die again, and his teammates are going to trade. And again, that is a good thing for them, because he's locking NRG in place. He's making them stand still, take these gunfights that are not advantageous. Net can take the space on that timing, and they can get the trades that they want. Situation two, when he stands up, okay, NRG ends up running away from them. So they're running back into Gen, they're running back into Spawn, whatever it is. And if that's the case, and they get a free site out of that, then we enable all the agents we have in play. So we have a Molly left, okay? We're going to have the missiles come back online. We have 2 swarms, right? So again, getting to that really OP kind of like post-plant breakdown, that's going to be something that they're going to take advantage as much as they can, and they do a good job of it here. Where even though it's not the prettiest thing in the world and they end up using another ult to take it, this is just kind of like the idea behind the concept is, you know, once they get that bomb down at any point in time, the round is like basically completely over. Here we're at round 10, again, economic trouble here. What you're going to see is the terminology usually used as the guard when you're on a defensive side and you're kind of like flipping space from someone. So Ascent, when you have a Killjoy ult, you'll have 3-ish people start mid, 1 guy on B, 1 guy A. Those 3 people will eventually flank B when the attackers run in while the 1 moves to spawn, and they will Killjoy ult and they will retake the site as attackers. So NRG doing that style of approach here where they've flanked now all the way through, and FNS needs to get underground to place his ultimate so they can completely retake the bomb site like they would use it on attack. So again, with that investment all the way down, not a lot of rifles online, only 2. So FNS trying to get down there, Mata trying to do a job of kind of like spotting the push from stairs, I guess, but he's going to get punished there. FNS walking really just alone, no one really with him. That just needs to be a situation where FNS needs to understand that he's kind of like the president in a way, where he needs to be like escorted through. He cannot be the guy leading. It needs to be Mata in this situation, okay? I won't just give it to Ethan just yet, just because he does have like an ult online, so he still is more valuable than Mata. But Mata, need to see him in the sewer here, peeking with the intent to kill, clearing out all this area. Once he clears and sees it's good, we drop the ult and we get ready to defend it. Too many pages here, considering too many things at once, and with that FNS death there, okay, we also had Zeppa on 1 ult orb in this round, so he's going to get a double kill there. 2v4, Verno and Som trying to close it out. Nice 2 shots from Som here. Zeppa with a little more cheese. He's got 3 on the round now. Verno left in a 1v2. He's good for these. Mitch, great patience there, spotting, trying to force him to reveal his position. Double missile for the cross. A little bit of a peek together. Looks like a reposition. Bomb's going down. Zeppa spotting the cross, making sure he can't get out. Mitch again showing the shoulder, trying to make Verno to reveal himself. Understands, you know, as his ex-teammate that that's what he needs. Zeppa peeks with a stun. He's 4. So now he's 2 off of another Clove ult, and the cycling of these power ults is going to be a huge thing they want to take advantage of on Fracture, and C9 are doing a really good job of that. So in the last round and a half, we're actually going to be able to see what we've been talking about so much. There's been a lot of brawling and a lot of fighting before the bomb is even tapped, so didn't really get the greatest showcase of it here. But we have Zeppa here. No ultimate, no overheal, no decay, nothing. He is worthless. He is not worth anything. That is the person who should be taking risk in this moment. So he's really far forward up in Gen. His job is to kind of exist here. Obviously, his timer is going to be fading away soon. So, you know, he's just going to buy as much time as he can. That's going to be your situation of how you want to play these post plans, specifically with a duelist or, again, you know, someone who's in this position. You know, take risk. He shouldn't be dying before anybody else here because they're so much more valuable than him in terms of the kit that they have left. So he's sitting here, burning time. He's going to get ready to peek on a low amount. With the sound, he's going to go a little early. Mata shuts him down. So now, Okay, we don't have slant cleared. We don't have tower cleared, front sight, anything like that. So you need to do that, and then you need to tap the bomb. And then a swarm is going to land. And then a molly is going to land, and an ult's going to land, and missiles are going to land. You know, there's no way of winning this. And again, this is a huge win condition that Cloud9 has here, where if they can get the bomb down, these rounds are essentially over. Sitting, no peeks anywhere. Swarms are on, molly's on. Vic can get ready to send an ult here to really ensure that nobody can be there. I think Ethan's actually going to scare him pretty bad. He's just going to use it for the last second. 210 half for Cloud9. Really, really, really massive there. NRG following up with a pretty insane comeback right now. They've won 5 straight. Mata with an insane 3K last round. And he's still tip of the spear, just shitting on everybody right now. That's an ult wasted from Oxy. Vic isolated. Zeppa with a kill. Overheal. Speed boost away. FNS, huge gunfight here. Able to complete this comeback after after that trade. Tough shot. 3v3 now. Mitch with a shotgun trying to retake. Zeppa stepping up in front of the ult. Net wins a 1v1 in the time. A second. Mata 1v3. He's good for it. Stepping back into the missiles. Bug's going to slow him down. Can't use any kit. Zeppa in a sight smoke. Gets one. Net with the balls to stick there. Ends the NRG streak. They just need 2 now. So here we are on LOTUS. We're going to see a pretty interesting comp come out here from NRG. I like how scary this is and feel. I think that if they really nail this down, this is going to be like a hard comp to play against. It isn't anything that, you know, anyone here is like too, like, you know, hasn't seen before. You know, you're mainly swapping out the Vice for like the Killjoy, but the Killjoy does bring a lot. It is definitely like an underrated part about this map is playing the Killjoy with the Viper, but the Vice combo with the Viper is also very nice here. So the thing that's going to be really interesting is how this game starts. Okay, in my opinion, NRG would have crushed Cloud9 on Fracture if it wasn't for their slow start. Okay, so it probably would have been something like a 5-7 or maybe like a 6-6 half if they end up cleaning up earlier in the game and people start getting online like a little faster. And then they pretty much had like a flawless attack outside of a couple mismanaged rounds with, you know, a whiff or two, and then some ults that were used as well, just kind of like a game of Fracture. So I could definitely see Fracture kind of going like, you know, 13-8 in their way, you know, by losing like that defense pistol. But they lose in overtime to Cloud9, and again, like, weren't looking the absolute best. So this map definitely should be focused. Definitely should be locked in. All right, boys, you know, we're on attack. We're warm. You know, let's play together. Let's be smart here. So you're up against Breach Teo. Okay, with a deadlock, with an omen, with a raze. Okay, spell this out with me. T-R-A-P, trap. There's a trap. Okay, I don't know where it is, but there's a trap somewhere. It might be C-mound, it might be through the door, it might be front B, it might be a rubble, it might be in the tree room a day, it might be a refight a day. I don't know, but I am always going to be hesitating and taking my time when I'm going up against this until some things are expelled. Like if Net uses a wall early somewhere and I find out where he is. If Mitch uses his stun, if Zeppa uses his missile, if Vic uses his paranoia. If I see these things being used, then I'm going to let my guard down because I know that you can't really do that anymore. But until that happens, I need to be really meticulous about this. So knowing that, here we are, barrier drop. What are we going to see? Doesn't even pop the flash. I mean, how much trust can we have in this ability? The way that this looks, it seems like we're trying to bait out a trap here. And the flash can almost be used as a refight or kind of like a stop. You know, if they do end up coming back, into you, you pop it, they won't be able to see. There's been no control done at A, by the way. There's been none. It's been breach and raze, sitting here on the line, that's it. This could have been a small error in terms of the interpretation as the players. I'm not sure if they think that wherever Vic smokes, that's where the fight is, but they might be trusting that right now because Vic did, you know, intentionally not one-way C because he wants to lure them in. So now we're going to see the run-up here. And again, look how, like, confident this run-up is. Skipping around, like there's no, you know, stress in the world. Paranoia, missile, crouch is going to come through. Verno is going to get caught out of everybody. I've never seen that guy die first. Now we're in a 4v5. And like, yeah, you know, you can sit here and say sick trap play. What was sick about it, dude? This happened on the first day the map came out. How did that get executed? Right? So again, I think it comes from the smoke that Vic threw. I think that something along the tendencies they had written down is, you know, they fight wherever the smoke is, so you should be able to freely react on the other side, but really lazy. No one really anti there to help out the guy who gets util bombed, because sometimes that isn't a bad thing if a guy's getting util bombed. But look at the spread here, right? Look at the spread here. If one or two of these guys want to back up and play a deeper line, like where my X's are, and there's one guy on the circle, you know, that makes total sense because now these guys are kind of peeking into people that are unaffected by utility. But again, not the case. Really, really sloppy start from NRG. Didn't expect to see it. Denying Cloud9's bonus, I really like that they're going to go test the A fight here. They're going to potentially get out. They wait the utility. Ethan's going to TP out. He's going to drop into this forward root position. Mata's going to try to sell that he's the one who's supposed to be following this utility, but it's actually Ethan. Somehow aware of him there. Oxy cleans it up. But I think that's a great approach from NRG by testing them and making them know that, like, hey, you know, yeah, you guys might beat us on the utility trade here, but this isn't like impossible for us to fight you. I think that's a really important part of their matchup against that double initiator comp, is making sure that, you know, at the end of the day, they're kind of hesitant and scared around that aspect. So again, good start, but a little bit of a failed execution. How can we be spending like the Prowler Eye? You know, Mata didn't spend any of his kit, but he was here at one point. Ethan's getting out. Are we really just gonna let him like die like that? Like not even trying to capitalize or like kind of like force a trade back? No one here really has a timing. Like it was just kind of like a bad investment there. Where again, like, you know, we're bought down, you know, pretty low here. We did win like the last round, which is good. But you know, Ethan's on like $100 because he died last round. FNS 700, so definitely want to start like building it over anything. I know it is more of like a defensive aspect than anything the economy, but it still definitely like is valuable. And now we're gonna get ready to go back into the C site here, where Vic is gonna show some good discipline. He's not gonna sit here and fight you and give it to you, you know, in this 5v4 situation. He's gonna play the man advantage. So the shift is gonna come through. Orb's gonna get grabbed. We're gonna face the smoke 3-2-1 peeking. Vic's going to see that they're in, and now he's going to get out of this mess. So the Viper Molly, the Thorn's being used, so we're getting pretty low on what we have left to hold the site. Bomb's going to get planted on FNS. He is now going to have that Vice ult to be able to stop this. The extension spawn is getting ready to happen, but the Showstopper is going to come through, and they're going to have to run. So ult for ult trade here. Oxy's going to do about 100 damage to him, and now they're going to get ready to go somewhere else. So they're going to try to leverage the value of the fuel here, right? They want to try to push something before that fades because they know they're kind of like bottlenecked up there, you know, sitting and waiting. Now we're going to see kind of like the value of net on the weak side here, okay? Watch how he's just jiggling, taking his time. He sees the push. Now he's going to live and back out, and the spawn guys are going to speed up. So no mollies, no thorns, nothing left. One guy fighting, one guy fighting, one guy fighting, one guy fighting. No one together, no one peeking together. Two site, two waterfall. Need to move together there. I know Bonkar's saying that that's completely unacceptable. And there's going to be games where sometimes some unfortunate stuff happens. Someone's having an insane start and he just can't slow down. And this was, you know, a day that happened for NRG. Not only did they have slow starts and they weren't looking the best, but I mean, Zeppa 15-3, 6 rounds into the game. Last half, he was 17-7. I mean, he literally can't stop. FNS shit talked this guy, and now he turned into Simple. I mean, he just turned into the GOAT. Only against them, apparently. I'm just kidding, Eric. You know, I love you. Big investments in round come crashing down off of a missed dog clear. 1 second early on the smoke. Mata forcing the timing, throwing his life away with the rocket. Zeppa's going to get 2. And the last thing you want to give this double initiator deadlock comp is a reason to speed up. They can blow up the site. They can lock away rotates. Just really hard to deal with. Great trades there from Cloud9. FNS now left in a 1v4. They're going to stun him and run from him. And again, you know, that's like a good kind of like shred of light that you like to see as a Cloud9 fan. Discipline. Obviously, you're never going to get it from Oxy. I think that's the biggest problem that he has, is that, you know, if there's no discipline. I don't even know if that's trainable or if that's something that he needs to like see in himself that he needs to change. I don't know how much Immy and Mitch are bitching to him about it, but you know, the discipline is just really like nice to see here in this, you know, NA scene. Running from an IGL in a 1v3 situation with double sensors on the bomb. It's not, being a pussy or, whatever anyone thinks it is. It's actually being a good player and being a good team. 12-9, potential last round of the game here. Double flank from Som and FNS here. FNS is now going to reveal position, shooting at his own Omenal. Vic wasn't even alive in this round. He thinks they're aware of it, but they're actually not. He has a peek on timing there, but forfeits the kill. He's going to do the very smart thing of dying in front of Ethan. So he intentionally continues to push and throws his life away, hoping that Ethan won't get cleared in this moment because they technically don't know that he's there. They might have just thought it was a miscue. And because he salvages that mistake, they do end up winning this round, but they still will fall short on Lotus and end up getting 2-0 here by Cloud9. Pretty quiet day from, the other three people on this team outside of Som and Mata. Again, Zeppa career performance, not really much you can do there. I will say that if he was firing a little, slower or not as on point today, I think Cloud9 would have lost in the 2-0 or the 2-1 fashion. But, it's a great team win, great confidence win for them. Hopefully they can carry it on, further in this. To be honest with you guys, I've been a little lenient, or me personally, I've been a little lenient about it being the kickoff event, but I'm seeing a lot of people misunderstanding what the kickoff event is. It is not some little test thing where you mess around with comps and see if you can win or lose. You need to be locked in. You need to treat this very serious. This is your chance to potentially snowball your way into Masters very early on in the year. Not everybody has to do a crew where you lose the entire time and then randomly sneak in at the end by having some crazy pop-off. You can win early and carry the momentum throughout the year and again break into champs early on. So not a time where you want to be getting 2-0'd, by a team like Cloud9. Again, roster trouble, in my opinion, not the best roles in terms of the people who are on this team together. We're gonna definitely see Zeppa playing some recon, which notoriously he hasn't really shown that he's comfortable or interested in doing. But he's definitely growing into a really good day today. He should be proud. Outside of that, definitely again kind of falling flat a little bit here. Need to see a little more killer instinct coming out from NRG. I don't know if they are expecting respect or, whatever it might be, but, this is the wrong region for that to exist in, especially when you're going up against players like Oxy. He's going to run around and do whatever he wants, and, you're going to have to deal with him, not vice versa. But really fun game here, a lot to learn, a lot to take away. I know that they'll be back, and I know that they're a really good team, and they're going to continue to show that this year. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you for your time. I offer Valorant coaching on my Discord, so make sure you guys hop in there and check it out. I got stuff in there as low as $10 guides that I write with my insight. There's a lot of other stuff that you can see along with my socials and everything like that. So take a look at the description before you go. I'll see you in the next one. T-Dog out of here. Deuces.